we are off. Today is day 157 of the year of streaming and learning to code. We are continuing on here at Codecademy, although we finally finished the last section, Learn the Watson API. We are jumping back towards the beginning because they added new courses during our journey. So look at that, 100% minus the addition of the new stuff. So we're going to go ahead and look at those. The first one they recommend is the Learn the JavaScript Control Flow course. Now, it was weird when I'm not logged in, like if I check on a different device or something like my phone or another computer, don't mind me, can't breathe. When I check Codecademy, it shows so all the courses, and you can see it here. For some reason, the Learn JavaScript Control Flow doesn't appear in their list of courses. The only one that shows up is the Learn Responsive Design. So I'm not sure if only some people have access to this or what the deal is, but that's just something that I noticed, is that I have, Learn Responsive Design, other people have access to that, to this. I'm pretty sure it's this new course that showed up, because both showed up around the same time. I can't remember when they showed up. I know they showed up at some point. It was about a month ago, and they were like a few days apart. But anyways, so we're going to be diving into this. I'm not sure if everyone else has access to this or if it's only available at a certain point. But Learn JavaScript Control Flow, which we have covered Control Flow in JavaScript in both the JavaScript intro course and their slightly more in-depth, semi-advanced JavaScript course. So that's that. So we've seen all this info before. Hopefully it's in a new format, new environment, new instructions, new activities, something to that effect. So let's see what we've got. Learn JavaScript Control Flow. Learn how to use if, else switch, and ternary syntax to control the flow of a program in JavaScript. Estimated time, 3 hours. Let's go ahead and click on that. Overview. Oh, prerequisite. Interesting. Well, hold on. That's crazy talk, because this course, the Learn the JavaScript Introduction, that was our second course, and this course didn't show up until, you know what? It may be, okay, hold on. It's probably an update they did, but they probably added, this is an update they probably did like a month or so ago, and it's probably only showing up because I had already completed the Learn the JavaScript Introduction course. That's what I'm thinking. Okay. Yes, very, very if-elsey. Yeah, right? That's right on topic and on point with today's lesson, essentially. We're going to find out. So, prerequisites, we recommend that you complete the Learn JavaScript Introduction. We're going to click on that for fun. Before completing switch and ternary syntax to control the flow. Claws, death, love, pain. Ow. Why, little cat? Why? So many claws and into my knee. Right before the bone. Not good. Okay. She's an angry napper. Dear Lord. Course outcomes. What are we looking for? We are looking for, in this course, you will learn how to use if, else switch, ternary syntax to control the flow of programs in JavaScript. Oh, she clawed my leg. That's why I stopped reading. Programs use these keywords to write conditional statements that enable the programs to execute different blocks of code. Why learn JavaScript Control Flow? Making decisions with your code is the first step towards writing meaningful programs. that achieve different outcomes. This course will empower you to write increasingly complex programs later on. Syllabus, control flow. Wow, a lot of pro stuff. And the one thing of control flow. I wonder why they don't just leave it in the other course. Strange. Page not found. I guess that intro course doesn't exist anymore? Huh. Weird. Alright, well. I wonder why they would add something with a link to a course that doesn't exist. No? It's that sort of, I don't want to call it quality, but the checklist or the process of checking things before releasing them, I noticed a lot of quirks. I realize there's a lot of content on this site. It's hard to pin everything down, but there's a lot of new learning people, and if they don't understand what's going on, they're just going to be confused. My concern is for the new guy, or gal, really new, any student. That's my concern. Resides with them. Diving into control flow. 11 sections. Okay. I wonder if this is all the same stuff from the other lesson. I really hope not, but I bet that it is. That's alright. 11 sections from the top. In this lesson, we'll explain how we can use the building blocks of JavaScript to write programs that make decisions. Control flow statements enable JavaScript programs to make decisions by executing code based on a condition. If a given condition is true, we execute one block of code. If that statement is false, we execute another block of code. For instance, if we're making a game in which the user had to choose which door to enter, we need a way for the program to know what to do once the user was in the next room. In the next lesson, we'll learn how to make decisions with JavaScript and how it can control the program's flow. If you wish, set username equal to your name. Also, change the value of known JavaScript to true if you'd like. Try to predict what will be logged to the console. Run the code when you're ready. Let username equal blah. Let knows JavaScript equals false. That will be changing to true. If knows JavaScript and username, console log great, username. So it's going to print all this. Get ready to practice your JavaScript. Else, knows JavaScript, console log great, get ready to practice your JavaScript. And great username, get ready to learn something new. And great, get ready to learn something new. Okay, so we will do BDX Inc. and true. Oh, well, yeah, we can put true. We know we've dabbled with JavaScript. Great, BDX Inc. Get ready to practice your JavaScript. Second down out of 11. 10 more to go. The core task of programming is writing lists of instructions for computers or translating our ideas from human speak to computer speak. Let's learn how we can ask JavaScript to think like us and make decisions the way we do. We'll start with human speak. Many decisions we make every day boil down to this sentence in some form. If something is true, let's do option 1, or else, if it is false, let's do option 2. The sentence looks familiar. What are we doing? The sentence looks familiar. It doesn't say familiar. I'm combining fairly and similar. I'm just removing a lot of the excess and just making it familiar as one word. I'd like to note, Kitty lived yesterday, technically today, so the 48 hours of hell have come and gone. I don't know if it was like a stomach flu or something that he had, but the leaking has stopped, so that's good. He finally stopped sleeping, and yeah, no more copious amounts of pills and oxygen, so he's good. I still need to sleep a whole hell of a lot more, but we got more than the 2 hours we got a night or two ago, so that's that. We're still kind of on the loopy side of the spectrum. So, yeah, that's what we're running into when we just smash words together willy-nilly. Once more, though, this sentence looks fairly similar when we write it with JavaScript. See for yourself. Let needs coffee true. That is, I should so get coffee. Damn. I should have started with coffee. If needs coffee equals true, console log finding coffee. Else, we're updating our to-do list in the real world. We're getting coffee after this. Either a nap or coffee, maybe both. Coffee napping, people do it. It's an advanced course because the caffeine wakes you up, but you just nap right through it. Only a select few can conquer that. Else, console log, keep on keeping on, which is what we are going to be doing till we finish this course. 1. Lines of code between the curly braces are called blocks. If-else statements have 2 blocks code. If the variable needs coffee is true, the program will run the first block code. Otherwise, it will run the other block code. 2. Needs coffee is the condition we are checking inside the if's parentheses. Since it's equal to true, our program will run the code between the first opening curly brace on line 2. Right. Wait a second. Curly brace. Oh, yes. The first open curly brace is on line 2. That guy goes to there. Good. First curly brace on line 2 and the first closing brace on line 4. So it's going to run all that. It will ignore the else part. In this case, we'd see finding coffee logged to the console. 3. If need coffee were false, only the console log statement in else block would be executed. If else statements are how programs can process yes or no questions programmatically. Well, that's interesting. They have it broken in half. Oh, they must be updating. So this is probably a test section. That's probably why there's only one lesson. They're probably gauging before they roll out some new monstrosity. Not necessarily monstrosity, but before they unleash their update on all that is the Codecademy website. Clever. Okay, so let's give it a go. Create a variable named isSoccerFan. Sure, we're going to copy that. I don't trust my typing/spelling skills right now. And set it equal to a boolean based on your preference. Is soccer I mean, I'm not against soccer. Here's my concern. If I were to hang out with a soccer fan and they were to gauge my knowledge and interest, they'd probably put me in the false category. The not soccer fan. And no harm, no foul. In fact, I might put myself in the false category. It's just I feel like true is sort of a big commitment if you really aren't living the lifestyle. If we're going with black and white, true or false, you know, it's just I'm not anti-soccer. I'm just not that involved in the community per se. Yeah. People probably aren't struggling over the true and false thing. Maybe they shouldn't ask such life and death questions, you know, here at Codecademy. Then people wouldn't be pondering over this stuff. I probably need a whole hell of a lot more sleep. Coffee and sleep. That's what we need. Post Kitty fiasco. Is soccer fan. We're gonna go with do we benefit if we write true versus false? We're gonna read through the fog of war down here. Write an if-else statement that uses is soccer fan as its condition. If it's true, then log goal. If it's false, then log no. Ooh, well, I want a goal, so we're gonna do true. So that's how we're gonna play this. True, semicolon. Write an if-else statement. If you're exhausted, curly brace, then why does that go so far out? Else I want to go back. I can't remember how they had it. I do like seeing visually. I like seeing else. It kind of stands out on its own, like below or however. We haven't had to write an if else statement for a while after dealing with the Watson stuff and the PHP and all that noise. But I think this saves more space. It's less lines of code. We're going to format it this way. I kind of want to check their hint to see if they say, oh, we were supposed to hit run. Typical. Hold on. We're going to cut that. Run that. What the deuce? True. Booleans are either true or false. Is it a semicolon? Does it hate the semicolon? Guys. Something's wrong. Look at this. See, it even tells us. Oops, the test returned an error. Maybe a syntax error. Do I have a syntax error? Or a typo? Is soccer fan true? I had the semicolon before. Is soccer fan is not defined? Do we need to call it a variable? Variable is soccer fan true? Ah, my bad. Had to call it a variable. Joel Dev, remember you're creating a variable. Ah, yes, that. Good. We're in sync. Joel is in sync. He knows what's up. Okay, so variable. Joel Devs nailed it. Awesome. Good. Okay, so that helps. Writing an if-else statement that uses is soccer fan as its condition. If true, then log goal, exclamation. If false, then log no goal. We started chipping away at it. If is soccer fan equals true, then then something or other. Right, it'll be console.log. Is it not console.log? It is console.log. This is what we get after not doing JavaScript for how many weeks has it been since we've done JavaScript? Maybe we can ballpark. How long has it been since we've done the JavaScript course? It's been, God, we've completed a lot. Okay, so that was the intro course. That was within the first 10, 15 days. So JavaScript was about halfway through. We're going to call that probably day 70 to 80. There was all React fun. But what have we been stuck on? What's ruined everything? It was going through it. 3 courses of SQL, PHP, and Watson API have like obliterated all of the fun JavaScript stuff we remembered. So that is good that we saved this for the end to jump back to, because now we get to relearn and touch base, shake off all the rust, and continue with that. So let's close that. You know what? They have their hint. If condition else, run block if true. I'm pretty sure it's console log. It's got to be console log. Yeah, something. Goal, in quotes, goal. We're just going to follow our spidey senses, and I'm just going to, this feels mostly right. A little wrong, but mostly right. Console log. Followed by no goal. Okay. Expected something. Expected a conditional expression. Oh, you know what? We don't need equals true because it already had is soccer fan equals true if blah ta da da. Yeah? Yeah. We're gonna run that. Holy hell, it worked. Did you see that, little cat? No? Okay. Again, reminder, there's a tiny cat sleeping in my lap. She's the one who keeps clawing my thighs and knees when she sleeps. Okay. Where are we now? 3 of 11. Good times. In the previous exercise, if we wrote if-else statements, if a given condition were true, one block of code would run. If that condition were false, a different block of code would run. However, there are data types that are not Booleans. Let's explore the concepts of true and false and variables that contain other data types, including strings and numbers. In JavaScript, all variables and conditions have a truly or falsely value. Let variable 1 equal I exist. If variable 1, this code will run because variable 1 contains a truthy value, else this code will not run because the first block ran. Sure. In the first line of the program above, a variable is created and set. The value of this variable is a string rather than a Boolean. How does this program determine which code block to run? The second line of this program checks a condition if variable 1. In the previous exercise, we checked if a variable was equal to true or false. By writing the name of the variable as the condition, we're checking the truthiness of the variable 1. In this case, variable 1 contains a truthy value. If we changed variable 1 to say if variable 2, that condition would evaluate to falsely because we've not created a variable called variable 2 in this program. In other words, variable 1 is truthy and variable 2 is falsely. Weird. The weird bit is not the concept. The weird bit is the truthy and falsely thing. It's kind of irking me. Just slightly. All variables have been created and set are truthy. What? All variables have been created and set. That. There's a that that's floating in there that I've been ignoring. I think I've been saying all the something. All variables that have been created and set are truthy and will evaluate true if they are conditional. If they are the condition of a control flow statement, unless they contain one of the 7 values listed below. It's gotta be me. It's gotta be the sleep deprivation dealing with the cat fiasco. Has to be, right? Unless their instructions are odd and offbeat. We've run into some weird instructions here at Codecademy. Grammatical, punctuation, nightmares, but I think everything's fine here. I just think I'm falling apart. False. 0 and negative 0. Weird. Just for the negative. Are we doing -0? Quotes and empty quotes, empty strings, null, undefined, non, not a number, document.all, something you will rarely encounter. There's an important distinction between a variable's value and its truthiness. Variable 1's value is I exist, because that is the data saved to the variable. Variable 1 is truthy because it exists and does not contain any of the 7 falsely values listed above. Oh, those are all the false values. Interesting. Thus the -0. That is a weird one. Huh. Okay. Instructions. Change the value word count so that great you've started your work is logged to the console. Okay, all we have to do is word count 0 is bad, so we can just give it a value. Anything that isn't one of these 7, well, one of these 7 will evaluate to true. So let's go ahead and do that. 1, and run. Cool. And now 2, change the value of favorite phrase so that this string doesn't seem to be empty is logged to the console. This string doesn't seem to be empty. It's incomplete, an empty string. Let's give it anything at all. Will a period work? That's not really a number. It's not really a thing. I don't know if that's just another weird one. Oh my god, period works. How cool is that? Okay, awesome. Success. Section 4. There's a lot of info, a lot of pre-anecdotal stuff before the instructions. There's a lot going on in this single learn JavaScript control flow lesson. In programming, we often evaluate whether or not an expression is true or truthy. Conveniently, JavaScript provides shorthand notation for this. Let is raining equals true if is raining, console log, carrying an umbrella, else console log, enjoy the sun. In the example above, the condition is simply if is raining in JavaScript. This is evaluating whether is raining is truthy. If you read the code out loud to yourself, so it sounds like a simple sentence, if it's raining, carry an umbrella, else enjoying the sun. JavaScript provides an operator for swapping the truthiness and falsiness of the values, the exclamation point. We can use this item in conditional statements as shorthand to check if the value of a variable evaluates to false rather than true. Let is phone charged true. If not, well, if exclamation is phone charged, which would be not or false, console log, plug in your phone, else no need to charge. Exclamation. In the example above, the program checks if phone is charged, evaluates to false. Because phone is charged is true, the second block of code will execute because it makes it the opposite. Okay, so there we go. Use the exclamation operator to cause this string is definitely empty to log to the console. Look at that, and we're changing one punctuation for another. What a happy accident. And we're running. Oh, no, just kidding. I was confused. That was a lie. That was a trick. We're going to leave the period. Here is where we are adding our exclamation. That was just a terrible accident. That's what that was. Green check mark. Now we can feel the headache coming on. Yeah, from the lack of sleep and food. That is all kinds of awful. Section 5. In addition to checking whether a variable evaluates to true or false, sometimes we need to compare variables to other variables. We can achieve this with comparison operators. There are 2 comparisons you might be familiar with, less than, greater than. You may also recognize these, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to. These comparisons evaluate to true or false. 1, using let, write a variable named hunger level. Wow, it's like they're reading our minds. How cool is that? It's like they're listening to us. We're starving. We should put a 50, but we're just going to put a 5, because if we put 50, we won't be able to pass the activity. So let hunger level equals 50. No, 5. Getting carried away. 2, write an if statement, write an if-else statement that checks if hunger level is greater than 7. If so, time to eat. And if less than 7, then let's eat later. Well, we have to do 7 because we're only halfway through. Or we're going to have to do less than 7 because we're only, well, just barely halfway through this lesson. So, if statement, time to get iffy, if, parentheses, curly stuff, with semicolon, 3, 4, oh god. 3 spaces, interesting, else, followed by another friendly semicolon. Cool, okay. With that said, let's go ahead and piece this nightmare together. Hunger level, copy. If hunger level is greater than 7, do stuff. Console log. What should we do? We should first do console log. That's what we need. And now we can throw these in. Copy. We should have done quotes too. Should have done quotes. Alright. That should be mostly functional. Okay, let's eat later. And now 3, notice that hunger level is 5. If the statement evaluates to false, therefore the else block code will be run. Now set hunger level variable equal to 10 and run your code. We are definitely a 10 or higher. Everything hurts. Running. Green, red, what the oh, fuck, we just made it worse. We just looked at the nearest number and grabbed it. Tickle. 7. We need to change the variable. 10. And we're running. Showing signs of fatigue. We will get through it, damn it. Food is for winners. We're gonna get there. There are 2 more useful comparisons we can make. Often we might want to check if 2 things are equal to each other, or if they are not. 1, to check if, oh no, our nose feels like we're gonna sneeze everywhere. Children, brace yourselves. Oh god. If you're watching, you're in the splash zone. We've gone over this before. No, perhaps not. You lucked out. It's going to be like a monsoon directly at the webcam. What are we looking for? We are looking for something about if they are similar, if they're not similar. 1, to check if 2 things are equal to each other, we write 3 equal signs. The 3 equal signs in a row. To check if 2 things did not equal each other, we write exclamation equals equals and exclamation with 2 equal signs in a row. It can be confusing on when to use 1 equal sign and when to use 3. Use a single equal sign to assign a value to a variable. Use 3 to compare values of 2 different variables. All right. We are looking at this. Instruction 1. Create a variable named moon phase and set it equal to full. Copy variable. I wonder if they want us to use variable or let. A majority of their examples throughout this lesson, they've been using let instead of var. I don't know if that matters, but that's just something I've noticed. Full. Dee 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 doo 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 doo. Be dee 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 da 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 dee da 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 dee. 2. What? No, not what. Write an if-else statement that checks if the moon is full. If the moon phase is full, log howl to the console, And if it's anything else, log, I swear I'm not a werewolf. Notice the code in the first block of curly braces ran. That's because moon phase equals full, and therefore the condition evaluates to true. Question. Okay, comparison operators. I was going to say it's feeling like kind of redundant and we're building on top of ourselves. I know we've seen this before, but I was referring like literally just to the lesson itself. Usually each new section adds something new, and this seemed, just for a moment, briefly repetitive. Just within referring to exactly these 11 sections. So, with that said, do we really need to type a whole other if? No, get used to it. We're going to have to write many if-else statements in our lives. If stuff is curly, then console.log and semicolon else followed by console.log and such. Now, let's go ahead. What are they expecting? Oh, they just are expecting a value to be thrown in there. So moon phase is what we will be working with, followed by howl, and I swear I'm not a werewolf. Copy. Hopefully that results in a green check mark. Ta-da! March on. 7 of 11. Else-if statements. We've explored if-else statements that answer questions that are either yes or no. What can we do if we have questions that has multiple yes conditions or multiple no conditions? We can add more conditions to our if-else. Little cat, you're kind of blocking basically all of the screen right now. I can see the first paragraph, but you're blocking everything from below what's highlighted. Hey, go lay on the bed. Good talk. Love you. What are we looking for? So, multiple yeses, multiple nos. We can add more conditions to our if-else statement with else-if. Check out how this fits into our current knowledge of if-else statements. Let stoplight equal green. If stoplight is equivalent to red, console log stop. Else if stoplight equivalent to yellow, console log slow down. Else if stoplight equivalent to green, console log go. Else console log caution unknown. 1. Create a variable named stoplight that is assigned to the string green. 2. Then there's an if-else statement with multiple conditions using else if. Else if allows us to check multiple values of the stoplight variable and output different things based on its color. 3. The block ends with the singular else we've seen before. The else is a catch-all for any other situation. For instance, if the stoplight was blinking blue, the last else would catch it and return a default message. All right. We are falling apart. You can feel it. Dear God. It's okay. It's okay. We're going to forge ahead. We all know that turning into a werewolf is not an instantaneous event. It happens in stages. So let's expand our program to accommodate that. If the moon is mostly full, log arms and legs are getting hairier. If the moon is mostly new, log back on 2 feet. If someone enters an invalid moon phase, make sure a little cat doesn't step in front of the screen. If someone enters an invalid moon phase, make sure. Where are you going, tiny cat? Are you just jumping? Yep, she's gone. She's running away. She smells werewolf and she's running. If someone enters an invalid moon phase, make sure to log invalid moon phase in the else code block. So, how do we want to do this? Do we take theirs? I feel like that's just going to be more of a nightmare, fixing the copy and paste nonsense. Maybe it's not too bad. You know what? We already have our if else stuff. We're just tacking on to the fun that's already in front of us. So now all we need to do is simply, we all know doing that. If the moon is mostly full, log blank blankety blank. We are going to take that came out of nowhere. You know what we're going to do? We're going to steal these two. Yeah, take that. So if we're stealing those two, I would then take all of this. We're going to go directly below, back that up, and enter. Aha! Look at that. Look at that. We've got curly braces in all the right places. That rhymed. Yeah. Good. Well, we are slinking. Slinking? Hear that? We are falling apart. We are slipping straight back into delirium like last night. At least we've made it past the halfway point. So that's barely inspiring. Mostly full. So let's go ahead and steal this. And we're going to shove that right here. Mostly full. Moon phases. Copy. Pasting. And we're pasting arms and legs right here. And mostly new right there. With back on 2 feet. Invalid moon phase. Okay. I think that's good. So here we're going to run it. Ta-da, look at that. I kind of want to try, let's do mostly full. Although maybe we should do, let's do mostly new. That's the closest to where we're currently at. Did arms and legs are getting hairier logged to the console? You know what? It did not log to the console. Why did it not log to the console? Let's try mostly new. Oh, well, we could have just replaced full with new. Run. I wonder why any of that stuff isn't working. What if we do sandwich? Yeah. Sandwich. No H. I'm thinking of which. So that's why I always have the H there. I know that's not part of that, but the which comes first before the which, and you know what's going on. So it's nothing's changing. Why the hell is nothing changing? If something. We're going to put it back to Howl and proceed to the next lesson. Howl. Run. We're going to leave it as is. I'm not so much well, you know what? We'll see what they say. So code. Something changed. Command Z. Nope. Should have copied it before. I couldn't tell if it was a formatting thing. Maybe it was the semicolons. Maybe I was missing the period for console log. It seemed something, it was a syntax thing. At least I'm pretty sure it was a syntax issue. Solar eclipse. Invalid moon phase. Clever. We're going to actually leave that because I like that. Okay, so 8 of 11. We can translate certain thoughts into JavaScript code, such as, are things equal with equal, or is one thing greater than another with the greater than symbol. In English, sometimes we say both of these things or either one of these things. Let's translate those phrases into JavaScript with special operators called logical operators. To say both must be true, we use and to say either can be true, we use the vertical pipes. For example, if stoplight equals green and pedestrians equals false, console log go, else console log stop. In the example above, we make sure that the stoplight is green and that there are no pedestrians before we log go. 2, if either of those conditions is false, we log stop, just like the operators we learned previously. These logical operators will return either true or false. These logical operate. Hey, yeah, if you don't want to be held, don't stand in front of the screen. So, problem solved, right? You come near me, you get loved. So, deal with it. If even no, you better move. Get all kinds of hugs. Yeah, you're gonna get hugged on. Deal with it. If either of those conditions is false, we log stop. Just like the operators we learned previously, these logical operators will return, hey, go away. What are you doing? Are you assuming the napping position for real this time? Good. Just get situated, tiny animal. Something about true and false. We've seen all this before. These logical operators are helpful when writing if-else statements, since they let us make multiple variables true or false. Since they let us make sure multiple variables are true or false, we can combine these operators with all the ones we've learned throughout this lesson. There's a lot going on this page. Let's say there's a werewolf. Let's say the werewolf can only become its wolf form when there's a full moon and it's foggy night. We already have moon phase variable, so now let's start with making a is foggy variable and set it equal to true. Is foggy at night, copy. I guess let as well. Let blank equals true. Okay, 2. Set the moon phase to run first. Set the moon phase to full again. Full. And now that we have both conditions, let's write in our if-else statement. In the first condition, if-else statement, check that moon phase equals full. It does have that moon phase equals full. And is foggy night equals true. And is foggy night. There we go. Let's go and run that. Fantastic. Now change the is foggy night variable to false and run it again. False. Ask and you shall receive. False. Yes, good. What are we looking for? So now that we've got that, we need to do something. The default else will print to the console. Yeah, I was trying to figure out why it had the invalid moon phase, but it's because it is both, and both need to be true, so it's considered false right now. So full didn't quite cut it. The default else will print to the console. It's because and That's because and requires both moon phase and is foggy night to be true to execute its code block. Replace the and that you wrote in the previous with or the double pipes. Pipety pipe. Make the if-else statement print howl if moon phase is full, or if foggy night is true. Leave the moon phase variable as full, foggy night is false. Which block will be executed? Howl will be executed. Ta-da! Howl. Hold it. Onwards to section 9. Before we move on, we are so close. This is good. Coffee and sleep are in our near future. As long as we don't fall asleep on stream, we should be okay. The instructions keep coming. Death. Moving on. And quite literally. Before we move on, let's circle back to else-if statements. Using else-if is a great tool when we have a few different conditions we'd like to consider. Else-if is limited, however. If we want to write a program with 25 different conditions, like a JavaScript cache register, we'd have to write a lot of code, and it can be difficult to read and understand. To deal with times when you need many else-if conditions, we can turn to a switch statement to write more concise and readable code. To a computer, a switch statement and if-else statement are the same, but a switch statement can be easier for other humans to read. Part of being a good developer is writing code that both computers and other humans can read. Switch statements look like this. Like grocery item equal papaya, switch grocery store item case tomato, case tomato, console log tomatoes are 49 cents, break case lime, console log limes are $1.49, break case papaya, console log papayas are $1.29, break default console log invalid item, break. So let's go ahead and dive into that. 1. The switch keyword initiates the statement and is followed by parentheses, blah, blah, blah. Wow. What is happening to us? Okay, it's followed by the empty parentheses. Well, not necessarily empty parentheses, but the item, the value, the condition we're looking for, the parameter. There, it holds the parameter, if you will, or condition. Which contains the condition that each case will compare to. In the example, the condition is grocery item. 2. Inside the curly nonsense, there's a case. Cases like else if, part of if, else statements. The word following the first case is tomato. If grocery item equaled tomato, that case console log would run. Grocery items equals papaya. The first and second case statements are skipped. The third case is run since case is papaya, which matches grocery items value. The particular program will log papayas are $1.29. When the program stops with the break keyword, the keyword will prevent the switch statement from executing any more of its code without adding break at the end of each case. The program will execute the code for all matching cases and the default code as well. This behavior is different from if-else condition statements, which executes only one block of code. At the end of each switch statement, there's a default condition of none of the cases are true if the son of a bitch. 5. At the end of each switch statement, there's a default condition. If none of the cases are true, then this code will run. All right. Instructions. And you know what? Don't mind me. My face is just ready to leak, and we got to deal with nose issues. Don't mind me. Save yourselves. Okay. We're good. Nose crisis averted. Sort of. As good as it's going to get for now, at least. 1. instructions 1. Let's illustrate this by converting our werewolf program to a switch statement. For now, let's also delete isFoggyNight variable so it doesn't fog up this concept. Moon phase will become the condition of the switch statement, and each moon phase will become each case that the switch statement checks for. Start by writing a switch statement with a moon phase as its condition. So let's kill off Foggy Night. Foggy Night eliminated. All we will have is moon phase. Wow. Telling you, we are fading fast. It is 1:25 in the afternoon, and we are like ready to pass out. So something about something moon phase and case things. We're forging this if else statement into a switch statement. So we will have switch here. Switch moon phase. The first curly brace to come. Actually, it's the first curly brace. So console log, we will have case emptiness. So we'll be turning those into cases. We're turning the ifs into cases, leaving the console log and adding a break after those. I'm just trying to piece together in my state of K, we'll call it, what needs to happen. I can see it. I know what needs to go down. It's just trying to maintain the mental capacity or stability to forge. Forge ahead. Tomato? No, not tomato. Bad, Steven. Bad. Full. We're looking for full. So case, full, blah. So here we will do case quote. We're going to do break. Afterwards, break. And from there, you get a tab. This will also be... Oh, death, you confused, tired, forgetful son of a... We copied instead of pasted. Well, that didn't help anybody. Oh, it was the extra one. And that threw off all the formatting, which is totally fine. I can live with that. In fact, we're going to do console log break and console log break. Yes, good, good. Okay, we are clearing, we're leaving that curly brace. Oh, we do a break after the last console log? I didn't realize that. I think I did. Hey, little cat, what are you doing? What is this? What are you... No, she's clawing at the cords behind the desk. Just go to sleep, furry animal. There's so much of her fur in the air. Breaking. We are breaking things and words. Semicolon things. Everyone's having something happen to them. From there, you're doing case with a single quote. Copy. Case. Mostly new. And else will be default. Default. Okay, we will tab console in with the break and tab and tabbing And that seems relatively okay. So now what? We need to get rid of the curly nonsense with a regular colon. You get a colon, and you get a colon. Okay. All of the angry red is gone. I think that's good. Switch. Moon phase nonsense. Case full. Console log. Howl. Break. Yes, we're still coding. They've seen us typing this whole time. They know we're coding stuff. Case, mostly full, console log, arms and nonsense, semicolon, break, semicolon, case, mostly new, regular colon, semicolon, console log, back on 2 feet, semicolon, break, default, good, 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 everyone's happy, and we're running, fingers crossed. 2 and 3. Wait, now add a default. Yeah, that looks awful. Now add a default at the end that uses the console log to print invalid. Sure, we had that. They said to basically do everything the second. We're good, we're good. I could have sworn they had an instruction that was just like, make it a switch statement, so I figured default was part of it. I didn't know we were supposed to run it multiple times and then do default as its own individual thing. Instructionally, if that makes sense. 1, 2, there we go. We're going to run it once more. Ta-da! And now we can do mostly new. Mostly new, which I think is the most applicable. Low energy, and not quite there, because that's where we're at right now. Low energy, not quite there. As far as cognitive abilities go. So, three instructions, followed by a whole wall of text. We are so damn close. We're gonna make it. We're gonna make it day 57. This is a hard day. You know what? It should be a hard day. Today's Tuesday, June 6th. Today's D-Day. This is nowhere near as bad as storming the beach at Normandy, but nevertheless, traditionally, today is a historically difficult day. So, if anyone else's Tuesday, June 6th sucks, that's probably why. But we have the peace of mind knowing that it was not as sucky as D-Day itself. So, you know, silver lining. Proceeding on. In the previous exercise, we learned shorthand for writing multiple if-else. It stopped right there. The line break. So I read it that way. You know what I mean? For writing multiple else statements to make them easier to read. JavaScript also provides a way to shorten simple if-else statements called ternary operators. Let isNight equals true, if isNight, console log, turn on the lights, else console log, turn off the lights. In the example above, we see a familiar pattern. See the example below for an equivalent way to express this. Is nighttime question mark, console log dot turn on the lights, colon, console log, turn off the lights. In the code, no, wrong. The code in the example above will operate exactly as the code from previous examples. Let's break this example into parts. Tiny cat, I can hear you licking your toes. It's rather loud. No, you're just gonna keep cleaning your toes. Good, good. Your little death claws. What are we looking for? 1. Is nighttime question mark. The conditional statement followed by a question mark. This checks if is nighttime is truthy. Console.log, turn on the lights. This code will be executed if the condition is truthy. Colon separates the two different blocks of code that can be executed. And console.log, turn off the lights. This code will be executed if the condition is falsy. In this example, we checked if the value of a variable was true or false. The ternary operator can be used for any condition that can be evaluated to true or false, such as those with comparison operators, age greater than or equal to 16, question mark, console log, you are old enough to drive in the United States, colon, console log, you are not old enough to drive in the United States if they aren't, if their age isn't greater than 16. So, in the example above, the conditional statement is checking whether the value of the variable age is greater than or equal to 16. If so, a message that states the user is old enough to drive will be logged to the console. Otherwise, a message that states the user is not old enough to drive will be logged. In instructions, the main.js the main jot, son of a bitch, it's happening. Our mind is imploding. We can feel it. It's just collapsing in on itself. Sleep is an important part of life. Make a note of that. In main.js, refactor the first if-else block to use ternary operator. To use the ternary operator. The first... Oh, I just now noticed they got rid of the werewolf thing. I totally thought we were going to have to redo and update the whole switch statement, so this was just like an angry wall of text that I was ignoring. Selective vision, which might I add, my selective vision is pretty damn good. I can block out a lot of stuff when necessary. So yeah, like this, 4 inches to the right, didn't even notice it. Did not notice it. It was just a wall of colors and frustration. What are we looking for? We are the thing procrastinating because everything hurts. Yeah, good. In main.js, refactor the first if-else block to use the ternary operator. Will do. So we have our if and condition followed by something. Do we actually need the if? I don't think we do. I think we just have whatever we are checking and a question mark. So, question mark. Dee-dee-dee. Ya-da-da-da. Ya-da-da. Dee-dee-dee. Da-da-da-da. Da-da-da-dee. Da-da-da-dee. Ya-da-da. So let's shimmy the console log right up against that. And now we get rid of said semicolon and else nonsense for a trusty colon. Look at that. 1 space for you. 1 space for you. No need for curly nonsense at the end of that nightmare. And no need for the parentheses either. Wait. Yes. Keep the parentheses. Why is it frustrated and red at us, though? Expected an assignment or function call and instead saw an expression. I'm not sure how I feel about that. Let isLock be false. We're going to run it anyways. The format seems mostly correct. And it is correct. What's their beef? What's going down? What is this? Why are they pissed? I don't see anything wrong with it. It needs a closing parentheses. See? That's stupid. What? Oh, it's confused. It's because we've got all the other formatting. It doesn't know what to do with this because it's by itself. And to top it off, it's codecademy. So that's also probably why it's broken. Onwards. 2. In main.js, refactor the second if-else block to the user ternary operator and do the third one. So we're just going to do it for all of them because that's what we need to do. So get rid of if, Swap out all this goodness for a question mark. We're going to bump all this up to line 7. We're going to take something, something, something. What did we delete down here? Oh god, what did we get rid of on line? No, we're fine. We're fine. We're good. There we go. That's better. Now we're going, so let's try to stick to one at a time. Console log space colon. Okay, we are good on that one, and now we've got this. Cool. Question mark. Now we need to drop in our colon for this guy, followed by something or other. Space, and getting rid of curly stuff. That's so strange. I wonder why it keeps marking that one. Let's go ahead and run it. Green check marks across the board. Everything printed as it should be. I don't know how to help them. I think they're just confused. It's gotta be an issue on their end. Or technically, most of the times we try to, it's probably my fault. Steven is wrong. I'm the problem, not Codecademy or any other factor. Hey, look at that. Congratulations. Congratulations on completing the course. Learn JavaScript, control flow. You've learned a new skill, should be proud. Want to take a look at your profile and see what you've accomplished. In just a moment, you get to read through all of this. Way to go, we just learned a lot of control flow concepts. If-else statements make binary decisions and execute different code based on conditions. All conditions are evaluated to be truthy or falsy. We can add more conditional statements if-else statements with else-if. Switch statements make complicated if-else statements easier to read and achieve the same result. The ternary operator and colon allow us to refactor simple if-else statements. Comparison operators, including less than, greater than, less than or equal to, and greater than or equal to, can compare two variables or values. After two values are compared, the conditional statement evaluates to true or false. The logical operator and checks if both sides of a condition are truthy. The logical operator or checks if either side is truthy. The logical operator not equals checks if the two sides are not equal. An exclamation mark switches the truthiness / falsiness of the value of a variable. One equal symbol is used to assign a value to a variable, and 3 equal symbols are used to check if two variables are equal to each other. Congratulations on learning control flow. Hot damn, we survived. Up next. No, perhaps not. We gotta go back. And then we can go forward. Up next. She's loading. All right. And that does leave us with truly one more section. So, oh, not there. Catalog. That will leave us with learn responsive design, and then we finally, once we conquer that, we finally get to start doing our own side projects and looking at other things. I have that JavaScript, what was it, Udemy course that I bought. It was like 85 videos, so I'll need to start chipping away at those in my free time. I don't think I can stream those videos as I watch them. So, I'm sure there's got to be an issue with that somewhere, right? But yeah, so we'll need to download something like Atom or Visual Studio after we finish Learn Responsive Design and start chipping away at some other stuff. Check out Code Wars and Free Code Camp and all that other good stuff. So, tons of fun. Let's see where we stand stat-wise as we conclude day 157. Tomorrow, day 158, we will be tackling learn responsive design techniques like relative sizing units and media queries to create websites viewable on devices of all sizes. Sure, good. In the meantime, closing stats. We're concluding day 157, 100% of the way through, completed, learn JavaScript control flow, and we've got 1,819 points to our name with 267 badges, and still only 20 courses completed. That's so very, very strange. It didn't add the last course that we completed or today's course that we completed. It should be at 24. But with that said, the stream is coming to an end. We are backing out of Codecademy. Thank you to all of those who stopped by today. We had Joel Devs. Thank you for stopping by. And anyone else who stopped by to view the stream. Any and all views are greatly appreciated. Let's jump over to OBS. The adventure continues tomorrow with day 158. But in the meantime, we are stopping the stream. Are you sure you want to stop the stream? Hell yeah. Kill it.